professional located here in the South Florida area. If you are new here, our Money Mondays was created to be a channel, to be a source of information for our minority communities and especially children. So this is where you can send your kids to get some knowledge or even yourself, whether you're a business owner or you work for someone else. This is just the place for all things information. And I am joined by my lovely co-host, Miss Renisha Gale. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us again. So today's topic is one that's a little controversial, a topic that I really don't talk about, a topic that I can openly admit to being very ignorant on, and that's politics. This is also a topic that Radisha is very passionate about. She even wants to start her own podcast on. So let's see how tonight's episode goes. So, first things first, I want to start by saying, what in the hell was that? I have never in my life, I'm not that old, but I've never in my life seen a presidential election take so long to finally announce who the hell is president. Like, what? What is going on with that, first and foremost? It was clear by the polls who won. And now all the Republicans are saying that the count is not final, there's not official who's president yet, and they're going to do recounts and all this other stuff, and everything is in Florida we had a little tropical storm that freaking flooded almost all of South Florida, Palm Beach, Miami, all of it. And all I kept seeing were these posts like, oh, it's okay, it's just the Trump supporters' tears. I'm like, what?
Oh,
I'm like, what? That is hilarious. I just can't believe it. What are your thoughts on this year's 2020 election?
well, first off, let me say I know this is Money Mondays and we're usually talking about credit, how to buy a house. So I'm just going to give you guys an outline of why politics is so important. The the census being answered is important because it helps us get funding. It helps us get funding as far as business grants. It determines where they're going to put the money, what communities, what neighborhoods, stuff like that. So politics are very important when it comes to your money because they can dictate what you get, they can dictate what you don't get. So let's go there first and foremost. Now, as far as this 2020 election, I am one that I don't really pick sides. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I purposely put independent on my paperwork because I will flip. If the candidate is a good candidate and is speaking what I need to hear, I'll flip at any time. Okay, so I don't believe in that Republican Democrat thing. There's some Democrats, they're really like, ooh, super crazy. Like, I don't know what you was thinking, buddy. As far as Mr. Trump, I'm gonna start with him before I get into this 2020 election, and it's not gonna be bad. I'm going to speak honestly and legitimately. I had no issue.
Rainisha's views are that of her own. Just have to put that out there.
Listen, we're
And
on live. I'm not gonna be disrespectful.
we
I
are
did not
live.
mind Mr. Trump.
Hold on one second. We are live, so if you would like to join our conversation or give us your opinion on this topic, go ahead and make sure you're joining us on Facebook and Instagram. Oh my God, we need to start streaming to your Facebook followers so they can tune live in as well. So make sure you're following us on or you're watching this live on Facebook or on YouTube. Alexis is South Florida Oasis so that you can chime in with us. All right, floor is yours.
Okay, so like I was saying, Mr. Trump, I didn't have an issue. Okay, when he ran for election in 2016, I thought it was weird. I thought it was a big joke. He even ran and said, I'm running as a joke to show you how retarded you people are. He said it out of his mouth.
He did.
So I really didn't think he was going to win. And I thought Hillary had it in the bag. So I didn't bother. I didn't get all excited. I didn't do anything. So, when
Did you
I saw he
vote?
won, I was shocked. I was shocked, but I still didn't have an issue with him because I know he is good with business, despite he's been bankrupt many times in his business, but he's still good enough that he owns hotels. He owns a lot of stuff, like a lot, a lot. So I'm thinking, hey, he's going to be great for the economy. We're suffering. He's going to be great. He's going to open business opportunities for people, which I'm not going to sit here and lie. He did. And there's a lot of things he did do that people aren't making mention of, like giving us an additional credit on our taxes with us having a business. I don't know if a lot of people knew that and took advantage of it by opening EINs and LLCs, but he did give us a good chunk of on our taxes based on if you open a business while he was in his reign.
Right.
But at this time, I'm upset with him, and the reasons I'm upset with you is because we know you're a no BS man. We know you're not a big speech speaker. But at the same time, respect is due. When you feel like it's okay to stand up in national TV and talk about the people who fought to save our country and say that they're stupid, that's where I begin to have an issue. You know, making statements like I've done a lot for black people and just random crazy statements, and it has nothing to do with the media. This election ran the same way any other election has run. I remember being a little girl and watching when Clinton won, watching when Bush won. I watched when Obama won. And it's the same way. I watched when you won, Mr. President. You won. Hillary conceded to you. As much as she didn't want to, as much as they did challenge the votes and ask for recount, they still conceded and they did the right thing. And I'm disappointed in your behavior at this time because it's not necessary. It's really not necessary. It is what it is. Rerun in 2024. Maybe we'll be ready for your rhetoric then. But right now, the American people are sick of you. They're sick of the racist comments. We're sick of, just the blatant disregard, no regards to human life. We have this COVID-19. Up to now, you can't sign a stimulus, but you have time to go find a judge. This is the reasons why people came out and voted in the massives because they're tired. They're suffering. We were already suffering prior to Corona. And now I'm looking at businesses that have been open in my community for 10 to 15 years that are closed. And no, they're not closed because they went and got a better location. They're closed because there's no more business. And your SBA loan, no, it was not to help us. It was not to help the small businesses. It only helped the big businesses, just like they say on TV. Okay? I've had my business for over 5 years, denied. My husband over 4 years, denied. I don't know what you guys are looking for. Gold. I have my tax papers. I filed my taxes, and you came up with an excuse to deny me. And I'm not the only one. So we're tired. Sorry. We realized what the game was. We realized what the jig was. So everybody came out in the massive. Think about all those people who lost their business because of Corona. Those people are the people that voted against you because they didn't get the SBA loan to keep their doors open. Okay? That's all I have to say.
Well, that was a mouthful, some of which I can agree with, especially the fact that, okay, here's my thing. If you're a business owner and you're all for Trump, I can understand that. But what I cannot understand is this whole topic of I see that we're having some issues with the quality. I apologize. Just bear with us. Like I said, we did have a
Come on, the
storm.
Trump supporter tears. It's messing up the airways.
There was a storm here in Florida, so the outage is in effect, and we are live. So go ahead and comment. But my whole thing is taxes, right? Most of y'all business owners know exactly. Hold on 1 second. We got a comment. Oh, it's Q. Hey, Q. Welcome back. Q says, "Word, sis Phoenicia with the arms." He agree with you. My whole thing is taxes. Y'all know exactly how to sit here and not pay taxes that you should on money that you make, but you're all for continuing to have the little people suffer. Why is it that you guys have such a problem with paying a little bit more taxes? Because mind you, you guys find a way not to play on everything that you own anyway. And then I saw a post, someone was saying how they disagree with raising the minimum wage to $15 because it's going to make the economy is we're going to have to pull the money out of the economy some way somehow. Now that I understand, because there's the balance, right? There's two parts to every story, and I understand that. But I just don't understand. Where is the love for humanity? Where is the love for our brothers and sisters? As these are the same people who have the hardest jobs. They have to serve us, okay? They have to get away from their family, and then they can barely survive. Rent, I know in Florida is ridiculous. Mortgage prices in Florida, like, forget it if you can even get a mortgage. But you're saying that you don't want people to be able to make a decent amount of money working their job, standing on their feet for hours on end? And they have the same
Mhm.
amount of responsibilities that you do when it comes to children, when it comes to bills, when it comes to just living life. Because who wants to sit here and just work to live?
And I think that's exactly why people voted for Biden and Kamala, because Kamala stated it's not right that people should be working three jobs just to pay their rent. You understand? We're looking here and we're watching cruise ships with their family. They're going to Disney World. We can't even do that. We get to work three jobs. Your husband gets to work three jobs, and then you still can't even go on a vacation. It's not fair. And through this whole pandemic, the price of rent has extremely went up, and nobody's talking about that. They
It's
definitely
not
need
only
to
the
do
price
something
of rent.
about rent control.
It's not only the price of rent. It's the cost of living. Period has went up.
And not only that, if you have not realized from that stimulus that they gave us, they give us the stimulus and then they added an extra problem on top of it. Because I don't know if anybody else did not notice, but the price of milk, cheese, butter went up.
Yeah.
Not the price of meat, but the price of all those other everything literally went up by $1 or $2 after that stimulus. And I do understand that may be a reason why they're not pushing as hard as they should to give us another one, even though we need it. But the
That
thing is, when
stimulus
they give
check.
us, they have to find a way to get that money back, which is raising the price on consumer goods.
That stimulus check should have been given out every month. I don't see how one payment of $1,200 is going to help everybody in the country survive and pay their bills and mortgage. Because understand, life goes on. Life goes on every freaking day, and the bills don't stop just because it's Corona. Like, let's be real. A lot of companies, when all this pandemic first hit, they were very good about being understanding, but after a while that shit went out the window because guess what, they still have overhead to pay just like we have them to pay. So it's not fair. It's not fair.
It
And
wasn't fair all the way around. I feel like they could have done a better a better way. Like even they were able to talk to FPNL and all the internet and cable companies. I feel like if you didn't trust the American people to give us money, pay them directly. You could have done it. You could have said, "What is your average monthly thing?" And y'all pay them directly if you don't want to trust the American people to pay their bills. That's one. Two, like I feel like the whole shebang is messed up. Like I said, if we get another stimulus, the price of food's going to go up. The price of everything else is going to go up. Everything is going to constantly go up. That is the sad thing about it. And I know that's why they're running around because I'm pretty sure a lot of people have not noticed that the price of everything went up due to them giving us that stimulus.
No, I didn't notice that. I didn't think that it was due to the stimulus, but I did notice that things went up. Even gas went up for a little bit, which I think is crazy. We actually have a comment from Sulaima Iman. I hope I'm saying that right. She says, I got my credit up to 720 and I can't get a loan because my income is too low. I have been denied twice. Yeah, I totally understand your pain. It's terrible. Um,
And then that's another thing of systemic racism. You know, I don't like to go there, but it is a
I,
reality. And the reason why I'm saying it is a reality because they do use your demographics. Remember, you're using your ID to do this. And it's point blank. How can you have a 720 score and get denied based on your debt to income ratio? And when you really think about it, obviously I'm paying my bills if I'm at 720. You know, I get that a lot when I go to apply for stuff. When they have no other excuse, they'll give you the debt to income excuse. When we know you're going by my demographics, you're going by where I live, and I've gotten this information straight from the horse's mouth, which is bankers.
and let's
That's what
be
they
real.
do. This is why people are walking around with flags complaining about systemic racism because that's basically what they're doing. They want us to rely on taking grants that's basically having two mortgages. Why is it we're not allowed to have a house the right way like everybody else? Why do we have to have two mortgages? So we could continue busting our butts and paying a rental, paying the same cost we pay if we were renting somewhere instead of getting the nice $800 mortgage like everybody else?
Yes, I was going to make that point about the systemic racism. It's like they put us in a box because let's be real. You said something about debt to income ratio. Most people, their debt to income ratio is low because they're paying on student loan debts. Now, unpopular opinion again, but how often do we really learn things in high school, in middle school, or even in college that's going to prepare us for the real world? Yes, in college you learn basics about your field, but are you actually getting the real life experience that's needed? And you can go to college all you freaking want, and they'll turn around and tell you, well, you don't have an experience to get this job. Well, how the hell am I supposed to get experience for this job if you won't hire me and I'm straight out of school that I done paid $50,000 a year to go to? So that's one. So I went to college and I paid $50,000 a year because that was a part of the American. Is it American dream or the just the path that everybody's supposed to
So this is
follow?
what we're taught. This
Exactly.
is what we're taught. That's why I get upset with the school thing. Because this is what we're taught. We're taught to go to school, go to high school, go to college. And I would say a lot of my friends and a lot of people that I know, you go to college, you get this bachelor's, you get your associate, you get your master's, and you end up never working in your field.
Or you
That's
don't
one.
even know the possibilities of what your field could offer you. Because let's be real, I didn't know until a few weeks ago that with my 4 year degree studying psychology that I was qualified to be a counselor. Meanwhile, that's one of my goals in life, and I've already checked that bag off, and I didn't know about it. Where is that education? Because in college, the counselors who are supposed to be there to hold your hand and support you, they don't do that. They don't do
But that's
that.
the reality. They don't have time to do that. You're just
No,
another number. Sign your paper and keep it moving. That's how they
no.
treat you in school. They
That I
don't
disagree
explain
with.
stuff to you.
It's not that they don't have time, because they do have time. They get paid to do what they're supposed to do. They give the information to who they want to give that information to. Because
And
I can
sometimes
remember
that's the case.
I went to University of Miami. It's prestigious. It's mostly whites and Asian and all that other stuff. There was barely any black people when I went. And this is how I know because I remember on my senior year, I was taking a final. And this is when I was getting close to people who looked like me. And I had to ask her. I didn't want to ask the question because I felt like it was so racially charged, but I had to be like, where do all the black people hang out? Like, I don't have a problem mixing and mingle with other races because I would love to know what somebody else's culture is like. But I also want to hang out with people who get me and I don't have to sit here and explain everything. Where do all the black people hang out? I asked that in my senior year taking a final. That's when I found out. So, long story short, my counselor was a white man, and I was dead set on going to law school. I had no guidance, but I wanted to go to law school the following year after graduation. And he basically told me, no, it wasn't possible. I'm not ready yet. I have to do a whole bunch of stuff. He was trying to get me to take a gap year, which means I would graduate and I would have a whole year from graduating to law school just freaking wasted. And I didn't want to do that. Come to find out, after I graduated, not even after, but right before I graduated, come to find out it was possible for me to be enrolled in law school the next semester. So he purposely derailed my path. And it couldn't be anything other than the color of my skin, because I'm sitting here going to the same procedure school as these other people are. So what are you trying to tell me? I don't have access because I'm poor? It's clearly not that. I mean, I wasn't paying out of pocket, but clearly I'm here like the rest of the people. Why are you trying to derail my path? And so I think that the whole government system is rigged. And I don't want to make this a black and white thing, but I feel like we are the oppressed, and we are the oppressed for a reason. Everything systematically tries to keep black people or minority people down. Why is that? Why is that? We have some comments. Um, I was stupid to go to college. My friends had to go out of town to get experience. A bachelor's is a higher school diploma at this point. Yes, that's very true actually. That's very
But
true.
this is what I'm saying. We are taught to go to school and run to school. But the reality is, I mean, for me, I've always loved the medical field. I love taking care of people. That's like my calling. I already knew that. I went to school, couldn't finish this course. I jumped to another course. Then I jumped to another course. I only went to courses that I could finish, that I could pass because I was having issue with math. Okay, so I get my associate, graduate the top of my class, and then when I get out of school, I couldn't find a job because I wasn't bilingual for being in South Florida. So then I went up north to work. When I went up north to work, they were willing to pay me more a week just with my certificate, not my degree. I got paid 3 times more a week for a certificate that I paid $280 to get. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. They make us believe that we have don't go to a university with nothing. And that's a lie. I tell people what you need to do is figure out where your heart is and what your calling is. Once you figure that out, work towards that goal, because you don't always have to be a lawyer, you don't always have to be a doctor, and you don't always have to be a preacher to make money. There's money out there. You'll be surprised. I've worked in so many different places that I didn't even need a college degree or anything. I've worked for Capital One. I've worked for AT&T in prestigious positions. And I'm talking about I'm making buku money more than the money for my degree. And it's really sad because they have us stuck in this system and telling us that if we don't do this, we amount to nothing. Sometimes working with your heart works, but you have to know what it is. If you're just a lazy person, you're just a lazy person. Let's keep it real. Because a lot of people like to sit there and say, oh, poor me. No, because you're lazy. Because every time you get kicked down, you don't want to dust yourself up and get back up. If you want to survive in America, no matter what state, whether it's Florida or anywhere else, you're going to have to take that beating and get back up.
Absolutely.
That's it. It's no excuses. You make your opportunity.
I told you guys this was Rainish's field of expertise. Q is loving you right now. Yes, I
Well,
agree.
this is the reality. And like I tell people, this is the reason for Carrie's Guardian Angels. I'm not just trying to service one group of people. I want to be able to go into the inner cities, get our youth, train our youth, teach them about finances. I'm telling you, sometimes your parents can tell you everything they need to tell you, but you're not going to listen. Sometimes it's good to have that outside voice to mentor these youth and let them know, don't take that student loan. Why we need to start targeting these youths from 10th grade and letting them know, do the best you can to get that scholarship. If you don't get that scholarship or a grant, there's grants out there that we could get that we know nothing about. Those school counselors ain't telling you about these grants. They telling you go sign with Sally Mae and Navi, and then for the next 10, 15, 20 years of your life, you're battling the debt to income ratio while you can't buy a house
Or they
or
tell
start
you
a
to go
business.
sign up with FAFSA, and then FAFSA turns around and tells you, well, your parents make too much money. Because that was my problem. Which I'm like, what do you mean? We're over here living
Listen,
paycheck to
don't
paycheck.
don't even get me started because we will be on this show till 10 o'clock. I have so much to say about that. All I could do to put it in a nutshell is move wisely. And what I'm so glad about our generation, we done got some sense. Okay? So all those supporters who want to do are making idle threats for us. I just want to put it out there. We're not our ancestors. Okay? Understand that and understand it clear. We are not on this boat anymore, and we are not our ancestors. We know how to use our brains and we know how to use our hearts. And we're going to just leave it right there because I don't want nobody to say I'm doing a Proud Boy threat. Okay? And I'm going to say to my black people, stand by, stand down and stand by, my black people.
Speaking of using our brains and using our common sense, let's talk about this. There are more parties that we can vote for and we can be a part of than just Democratic, Republican, or Independent. There's Green that I didn't even freaking know. I wish I had my phone to Google and refresh my memory. But there's Green. There's the
There's
Libertarian
liberty.
Party. Um, what we need to do, and I'm gonna put myself in this boat, is actually research what's going on, research what's going on, educate ourselves, and put the word out there for other people to get on the same boat as us. Because I feel like the next presidential election we have, we need to do more than just vote for the same two parties. Because all this time, and they still haven't really figured it out. Because to
But
me,
to be honest,
to
they've
me,
never.
they do more fighting amongst each other than actually getting shit done that's going to benefit the American people. And then while we're on that, let's say that we need to focus on the local elections, who we're electing locally. Because how many times do we pay attention? We're putting those people from local to represent us in the state level. So if our local commissioners and stuff are not on our same page, how are they going to represent us when they get to the state? Think about that for a second. Local is where it's at. Local is what's going to set the tone for everything else. So we either need to be more educated of who's running for office or put other people in office who are actually going to change for the benefit of the people. That's my thing. Definitely. So I'm going to make a point to start educating myself from now and not wait until the next presidential election a few months, and this is when I want to Google and stuff like that and be active. No, although I like to say if I just sit pretty in my bubble, which I've been doing for so long, nothing really affects me, but it does affect me because it affects the people around me. I used to be very ignorant and say, well, if I don't pay attention to it, it is what it is. It doesn't bother me. Until I heard Renisha say to me the other day that when Trump was in power, do you know that he took away my ability to get medicine for my diabetes? I was like, I didn't know that. What am I doing? Now I feel like I need to be my sister's keeper. I need to educate myself so that I can be strong for people who are not strong enough for themselves. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you're not strong for yourself, but if somebody else knew, they had the power to prevent that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Is it lagging?
So
Because you're pretty quiet.
it's a lot. You don't want me to start because I got. That's why I said I'm starting my own podcast. You guys, next show she'll be putting up my podcast for you to hear what I have to say. Really and truly, I just don't want to overstep on her show today because I know she likes
Well,
to
you
keep
have
it
a
nice.
voice to speak. Speak it. We have a
Listen,
comment.
listen. I'm over it. I'm so over this. I'm over it. I'm over it. They want to be one love, one nation, only when it's to working in their favor. And like I said, I have a lot of friends on my Facebook that I'm just like I'm in awe of you know the things that they're saying. I have one particular friend. Every minute she's tagging me, talking about I got black friends. This is my black friend, and I'm like, if you have to tag me every minute you say that I'm your black friend and you came to my bachelorette party, this, that, and the other, something is wrong with you. Something is wrong with you that you have to make that point be proved.
We have another comment from Suliyama. She says, yes, but even if we all voted for a different party, we would only represent a small percentage of the vote. Yes, that is true. However, if
And
we,
then what does that other party stand for? You can't just vote for another party because you don't want to deal with Dems and
no,
Republicans. But if you notice, this because everybody kept saying that on social media, this is absolutely one of the first years that you didn't hear who the independent was. You didn't hear
yes,
who the liberal was running
and
because they didn't even run
there was
because they
no
knew
space for them on the ballot. But
it wasn't even that. There was space. They were there. When I went and vote, I saw their names there.
I didn't
But
see
the
any.
problem was they did not go out there and make their voice heard because they knew that this election was about Trump and Biden. Period. This is this year and even in 2016, the liberals did not put any ads out. They did not come out and speak. They didn't say anything. How are you going to know about somebody who's not speaking? And they're not speaking the voice of the people. We're not gonna know who they are. They gotta speak and they gotta speak good. And I mean, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, Biden's gonna be in the coffin and Kamala's gonna be running the world." So what? The reality of the way right now, we women, we really do a lot. We are the glue of this universe. We are the ones birthing out the babies. Do you get it? Men can't work by themselves. It takes two of us together. A man and a woman run the show. Okay? The women birth the children. We take care of the home. And a lot of people used to downplay the importance of women taking care of the home. Okay, I get it back in the 19, whatever the heck it was, where women had to start getting up and go to work because all the men were going to war. The same war that Donald Trump turned around and said that they were stupid for going to fight for our independence, which caused a ripple effect where women had to start going out and work. Okay, now it done got to the point where now the men don't want to work and want us to work, take care of the babies. Keep it 100. Fair is fair, right is right. Let's keep it 100. Working as a team is better than one person working alone. Okay? We have lost our sense of home. We've lost our sense of family. We've lost our sense of humanity, and we need to get it back. And I feel like Biden and Kamala together is going to make that happen.
Hopefully.
Because now you're bringing back the dynamics of a man and a woman. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it's always been, and that's the way it will continue to be. And I'm not bashing anybody who love the same sex. I get it. I get it 100%. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm perfect. I'm not going to sit here and say I was never in a relationship with another woman. None of that. It's a reality that we we have been desensitized. We have been taught that are okay, that are not okay, and it's affecting the balance of life. That's what's going on. So when you stop taking the family unit out of family, how are we teaching these kids? I'm sitting here with my child watching YouTube because of this bloody pandemic, and if you see the crap that they're feeding to our kids, when you're working 2 and 3 jobs and daddy's working 2 and 3 jobs, and these kids are raising themselves off of YouTube and whatever the teacher is pushing on them in the school. This is why it's important for the mother to be home. It's important to cook a dinner. Half of these 25, no disrespect, my love of my life over there, 25 years old and don't even know how to boil water. What's wrong with that kid? We are in the
Listen.
rehab working, and we have the female clients. I had a client that didn't even know how to make noodles. That's like the easiest thing to do. Boil water and put some noodles in there. Not even a ramen packet you could make, sis. Really?
Okay, let me read some of these comments. Suliala says, so we would essentially be throwing away a large vote that could sway the vote. Yes, I understand that, but my point in saying that people should be more educated on the other parties is to, in fact, educate other people so that instead of only putting our votes in Democrat, Republican, maybe we can elect a Libertarian or a Green Party representative one year. We have 4 years to make it happen, to make people aware enough to make a decision. Q says you queens are rocking tonight. Thank you, Q. Um Suliyama says you educate a woman and you educate a whole community. Absolutely. She says,
Amen.
I'm so fed up. I'm actually considering being single forever. This generation of men need to be recalled. Oh, Lord. We're not going to get into that.
Oh,
We're not going to get into that. But I will say this. How do you expect men to be if they have no father figures? Because the
thank you.
whole,
Why don't they have father figures?
I was going to explain that, but you on
I want you
fire
to explain,
today.
please.
We have no father figures because the whole point of the government is to, well, not the whole point of the government, but their whole agenda is to break apart the black family because they know that as African Americans or Africans, whatever we want to call yourselves, we are very big on family. Like we might have inner conflicts with our family, but our family means everything to us. A man and a woman and their children, and it takes a village to raise a family. So if all of our men are in jail, and then that makes our women have to go outside the home to bring home the bacon and cook it. Who's raising our children? So who's raising our little boys?
YouTube.
YouTube. And this is why we have girls nowadays who feel like wearing the most revealing clothes is the wave. It's
That's why
sexy.
we have 14-year-olds that's pregnant.
That's why we have OnlyFans. Like what? Where is the education? If you had I'm not saying you can't be freaky now, but it's a woman in the streets and a freak in the sheets. That's supposed to be behind closed doors. That's not supposed to be for everybody to see. That's not you go on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and all you see are freaking twerking videos. You have more women talking about, oh, you want men to catch bags for you. They have to pay they have to pay you to even like have a conversation. Like this is the mentality of our young women these days. Where are they getting it from?
Because they're getting it from watching TV and watching society, because that's what society is putting out.
From
Because families are no longer
television.
sitting, families are no longer sitting down at the dinner table having a real conversation. The phones are teaching us, and it's the reality of the world. Now, me personally, I feel like we're going stages. I feel like when you're young, you're gonna do stupid stuff. When you're young, you're gonna dress revealing because you're not knowing that you don't have to do that to get what you need. So that's like automatic. That's just something that is, to me personally, I feel like it's stages that everybody you grow out of, you grow into. You can't say 100% that's wrong because everybody's different. Everybody's
There's
personality
a
is different.
difference between
What
when
I
you're
might not
young.
wear sister girl might want to wear. You got to remember when you're in college. Come on, we
No,
half of
no.
us that's sitting
Don't
here
get
right
me
now
wrong.
was not the best.
Don't get me wrong.
'Cause I know I was half naked half of all my college years, so
There's
I'm
a
not gonna sit here
difference
and talk about.
between being young and being a mother or somebody of influence, and this is what you're showing the kids, 24/7.
I feel
There's a
like I
there's a
said, it's a
completely
stage.
difference.
I feel like you grow out of certain things. When you become a mother, your thought process changes. Like, for instance, my husband and I, we used to do the club scene, we used to bartend. But as we got older, he was an avid racer. I'm talking about at least every 3 months, I'm in the hospital with dude because he done spinned out. Okay? But the moment he held his daughter in his hand, he was like, hey, I can't race no more. That thrill is no longer a thrill for me. When I got pregnant with my daughter, I didn't think, when I got pregnant with my daughter, my first thought process when I looked at that little girl was, okay, I can't dress half naked no more because I have somebody looking up to me. People's concept changes, but I feel like it's something you grow into. I don't think that people should be put down because they're doing it, but you got to understand there's a time and a place and a cycle for everything. It's sad when people don't come out of the cycle. That's when I begin to be like, okay, you're 50 something years old, you got children and grandchildren, and you still walking around here like you're 16. That's a problem. What example are you setting for them?
I mean, call me boring, but I've never been into the club scene. Like, of course, when I was younger, I wanted to go out to a club and I snuck out and did those things. So it was never such a big deal that I wanted to continue on. And when I was young, I could. I was having this conversation with my mom the other day, but I remember putting on some shorts, and when I was young, I was very developed for my age. So I remember putting on some shorts and going downstairs and going outside. And my father straight up told me, "You look like a whore in those shorts." My Haitian father told me that, like, no, no, no f's given. You look like a whore in those shorts. You need to go change, and that stuck with me. So I don't know. Maybe I dress like an old lady, but
But
the
again, your
fashion.
father was there. What about those whose fathers aren't there, honey?
That's
What
true.
about those whose mom was not there to stop them and pull them? This is why we're saying family is important.
Important.
Having that mother home is important. Having that father home is important because you're going to relate to somebody.
So we have a new comment. Suliama says this new generation is the result of single moms, absentee fathers, and struggle. They are going to want the opposite. Absolutely, I agree. And the more people want the opposite, the more that we'll be able to see a change. Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Definitely.
But yeah, it is important to have families. It is important to educate ourselves on things, and educate others on things as well. I feel like I stand by what I said as far as local politicians and making sure that local politicians are being more thoroughly looked at, because it's not, the president can't do everything. Although the president has the power to veto and other things, but the House and the Senate also have the power to veto and knock whatever they put into place out. I mean, just look at Obama's run. How many things did he promise to do that weren't able to be accomplished because people were just against him 100%? You understand what I'm saying? So we need to be electing different officials, and we need to stop with all this grandfathering. Why do we have the same judges for 50 years? Like, come on, get some new fresh ideas and perspectives out here. Like, I don't, and why do we have to have, why do all of our presidents have to be old white men? How is that unification? How are old white men supposed to identify with other people? Please tell me that. Sliama says, IDK, I don't know about y'all, but I plan on getting a little butt lift at 75. Then I'll be Then I'll be a poom poom shorts wearing grandma. Grandkids be damn. Oh God. I can see her doing that.
Listen, to each his own. I'm not saying anybody dill pickle ain't right. So listen, if I really feel like I'm gonna be 80, 90 years old with a walker still running down the male nurses, honey. So I'm getting prepared for that. I'm just listen, I'm fun loving. My husband and I already talking about it. He said he gonna get all the female nurses, I'm gonna get all the male nurses, and we're gonna see which one obliges us. So
Oh
that's
Lord.
our ongoing bet already. And trust me, whatever we say we're gonna do, we're gonna do it.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's like getting a tattoo though. Do you think about how the tattoo is gonna look when you're 95 and wrinkly? Because I've seen some
Listen, my
pictures of
tattoos that
tattoos and I'm
I have,
like,
they're gonna be all wrinkled. And when the male nurse is wiping me down, they're gonna be like, "Oh, Miss Gail, what was this a tattoo of?" And I'm gonna say, "Come over here, baby, and I'm gonna show you what the tattoo was about." Okay, that's my plan.
all right. Well, I like to open the floor. We have about 5 more minutes left of the live. I would like to open the floor for any more questions or comments about anything that we talked about during this live. We covered a variety of topics. But yeah. Oh, I like to take the time since we're waiting for people to share their thoughts and opinions and comments with us. I like to take this time to make the announcement that Carrie's Guardian Angels will be hosting a food drive for Thanksgiving. We are going to be giving out plates of food to the homeless in the city of Fort Lauderdale. So we need your help. We need you guys to donate to us so that we can make sure we have enough food to provide for those people who are living out in the streets, especially during this time of coronavirus. You know, if times were hard before, imagine what homeless people are going through right now. So, if you'd like to be so kind and donate, you can do so. The website is up on the screen, carriesguardianangels.org.
Click on the donate button. And then also, if you want to do canned goods, anything that's non-perishable, you can drop it off at our office.
Yes,
And then I know Christmas is far ahead. We are looking to do something for the toy drive,
yes,
do like a toy drive and get non-perishable items for families. Let's show our humanity. So we get that the president full of mess, our new president, we don't know what to expect, but at least us amongst ourselves in this community, we have to be our brothers and sister keepers. We
absolutely.
can't wait on the government. Okay. At this point, I'm like this. We need to open our own bank. Okay. We're
You said
tired of waiting on
that.
them to feed us and supply us. We need to get together as a community, get together as minorities, and work towards a goal. Because obviously, if we're waiting on the systemic government to do anything for us, we're going to be waiting another 30, 40, 50 years. Okay. Waiting in the water, waiting for justice and waiting for peace and waiting for our lives to matter. The only time our lives matter to these people is when we're picking something out of the ground to feed them with. And it's not fair. We're good enough to do your work, but we're not good enough to sit and eat at the table with you. And that's where I have a problem. We're always good enough, but not good enough. And it's sad. It's sad because when you look at it, you can't do anything without us because everything about your identity is us. You take our stuff, you rename it, repatent it, and then sell it triple. But we gave you the knowledge for free because we felt like, we're helping our fellow man. If you really check it, look at African Americans. That's how they got messed over because we see these weird people coming. We didn't attack. We didn't say, "Oh, there's aliens coming. Let's kill these people." We didn't do that. We opened our doors. We showed you about our gems and our diamonds and all the nice things that our country has to give you. And what you turn around and do? Throw us on ship. And we're not the only one. Look at the Native Americans, the Indians, the people who land this really is. You boot them and put them on a reservation. The only thing about it that I can say about them that's fair, at least they get to own all the casinos, and technically they own all the money. If nobody's
And
paying
they get
attention,
reparations
they
as well.
own all the money.
They get reparations from the government as well. Suliama says we have our own banks. We do. Even here in Florida, we have Credit One Bank in Miami is actually a black owned bank. How credible and respectable they are is something else. But we need to do better
Well,
at
that's what
that.
we need to do. Go bank with them
Uh,
and make it well known and share it.
she says we need to support them. We have our own phone services too. Yeah, that's what she says. Yes, yes, yes. We need to
We
support
need
one
to make
another.
it happen.
But let's keep it real too. As much as we'd like to support our own black businesses, our people don't know how to act sometimes and they don't know how to be professional sometimes, which in
But then
turn
other people don't either.
makes it hard to want to support. No, like okay,
Just as bad too. We can't make excuses. We need to do better as people. We need to do better as a community. If somebody's attitude is really stink, I think at this point we need to say, listen, I'm patronizing you, and I feel like you need to be a little more respectful to your customers. If they take it wrong, they might take it out on you. But guess what? That's gonna sit in the back of their heads. We need to group together, network together, stick together because the other people doing it
yes, I
and
agree.
have us looking like ducks.
But we also need to be open to take criticism too and apply those to our field. Just today, I went on Facebook and I saw a few people complaining about a black business owner. She basically took their money and didn't provide them any service. Like we don't have time for that. And I was trying to make another point, but slipped my mind now. Um, oh, even if you sit there and you tell the business owner, yeah, I think a while ago, and I was younger, I didn't even have my own business. This is when waist trainers first became popular, and I bought myself a waist trainer from this black lady. And she was very rude. My order was wrong, and all kinds of stuff. And I wrote her a note. Yeah, I wrote her a note, and I said to her, you need to work on your customer service skills. Like your customer service skills is horrible. Not only did you send me the wrong order, but then you have an attitude with me on top of that. You know, she put the note back into whatever the shipment was and sent it back to me. She didn't even give a fuck. So this is what I mean. I'm talking from experience. I'm not trying to bash our community because I'm the first one to want to support our community, but we need to do better. We need to do better.
Yeah, we do. We do. Well, I mean, she probably didn't want to take that advice, and that's her loss.
Yeah, that is her
When
loss.
she stopped getting sales and she wondered why her businesses bottom up, is because you wanted to be ignorant.
And we also need to show our support in other ways, if especially business to business. Let's barter. Let's go back in time. They used to barter. They used to share goods and services instead of exchanging money because we all need help out here, especially if you're startup. So a good way to get your name and business out there is word of mouth. So by you working with someone else, exchanging your services, exchanging your goods, that might be able to bring you more business instead of wanting to, hold out so much. We have two more comments. Well, she says, our Suliama says that our Black communication service is called Figures Communication. I didn't know that. Um, she says we don't question the credibility of the big banks, but we scrutinize our own. Saying we don't act right is a stereotype that unfortunately affects the way we think about ourselves. We get attitudes from other races all the time, but we still patronize
Mhm.
them. All businesses have owners that scam. That's people, period. No, no, no.
That's rude.
I'm not saying that other people are not rude and stuff like that, but more often than not, it does happen in our community. I'm just saying that we wanna support each other, but we need to also do better. That's all. That's all. And why I said that about the bank is because I actually bank with Credit One Bank, and they suck. So they suck, just like Bank of America. I think Bank of America sucks. There are people who conduct businesses poorly from all walks of life. It's not just us. Please don't push that racist agenda. We're not pushing a racist agenda over here. All right. Well, if we don't have any more comments or concerns, I think we're going to go ahead and end this live here. Thank you so much for everyone who took the time to join, to watch, to comment. Please take the time to share the video, get the words out here that we have shared. If you'd like to donate to Carrie's Guardian Angels, be it whether that be money or be goods for the Thanksgiving food drive, please go ahead and contact either Renisha or myself, and we'll give you the information to do so. And the website is up on the screen, carriersguardianangels.org. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching,
Thank
and
you,
we'll see you
family.
for
Thank you for
Monday.
all the support.
See you on Monday, everybody.